All right, let's dive in. Today, we are tracing a golden thread that weaves through three of the most profound wisdom traditions in history. Kabbalah, which you can think of as a mystical map of creation, alchemy, the art of spiritual transformation, and Hermeticism, the philosophy that kind of ties it all together. Now, they all use different symbols and different languages, but they share one incredible goal: to answer the deepest questions we've ever dared to ask.
Where do we come from? Who are we? Where are we going? I mean, these are the big ones, right? For thousands of years, these three questions have kept mystics, philosophers, and seekers up at night. They really get to the heart of our search for meaning, our desire to figure out our place in this vast, cosmic puzzle.
So, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the shared hunt for hidden knowledge. Then, we're going to explore two of these paths in depth: alchemy and Kabbalah. After that, we'll talk about the actual process of initiation, and finally, we'll see how these three powerful streams all flow together in what's known as the Hermetic synthesis. At their core, you can think of alchemy, Kabbalah, and Hermetism as three different languages all trying to describe the exact same thing. Imagine they're different maps, drawn by different explorers, but they all lead to the very same treasure: understanding the universe and unlocking our own potential for real, profound change.
This whole quest for hidden knowledge is often symbolized by the search for the lost word. And no, we're not talking about a secret password. The lost word represents a kind of forgotten wisdom, a state of total understanding that humanity has somehow lost along the way. These traditions, they offer a system, a structured path to rediscover that knowledge.
Okay, so let's start with our first path. When you hear the word alchemy, your mind probably jumps to old wizards in dusty labs trying to turn lead into gold. And yeah, that was definitely part of the aesthetic, but it was always a powerful metaphor. The real goal of alchemy wasn't about getting rich. It was about the transformation and purification of the human soul. The work in the lab was just a physical mirror for a deep, internal, spiritual process. The name actually comes from the Arabic alchemia, which means the art of transformation, and the goal was always perfection. On a material level, sure, that meant turning a base metal like lead into the most perfect metal, gold. But spiritually, it meant purifying the soul. And the legendary Philosopher's Stone was the catalyst for both. It was a substance believed to perfect matter and a symbol of the divine truth that perfects the soul.
So how did these alchemists view the world? They believed everything, and I mean everything, was composed of four elemental principles. And this is a super important point. They weren't talking about literal fire or water. Fire was the principle of energy, of expansion. Water was all about traction, emotion. Air represented intellect and connection, and earth symbolizes stability and physical form.
And each element is a combination of two primary qualities: hot, cold, wet, and dry. So you can see fire is hot and dry. Its total opposite, water, is cold and wet. Air is hot and wet, while its opposite, earth, is cold and dry. Alchemical transformation, then, was basically the art of skillfully manipulating these principles, whether in a lump of metal or in your own soul, to change its very nature.
Okay, so from the alchemist's lab, we're now moving to the intricate diagrams of the Kabbalist. If alchemy is the process of transformation, you can think of Kabbalah as the divine map of creation itself. It's a system for understanding the very architecture of the universe, from the unknowable divine source all the way down to our physical world right here.
The word Kabbalah literally means to receive, which points to its origin as a secret knowledge passed down orally. It's the esoteric, mystical heart beating alongside the outer, more public religious laws. It isn't focused on everyday rules. It's all about cracking the hidden codes within sacred texts to truly understand the nature of God and the process of creation. So what's in the Kabbalist's toolkit? Well, their main navigation system is the Tree of Life, which shows 10 spheres, or sephirot, that trace the path of divine energy as it creates the universe. Foundational texts, like the Zohar, are their deep-dive guidebooks. They hold this incredible belief that the universe is literally built from the mystical properties of Hebrew letters and divine names. And they spend a lot of time contemplating Adam Kadmon, the archetypal perfect human who contains the entire cosmos within himself.
So we have the process of alchemy and the map of Kabbalah. But how does a person actually travel this path? How do you use the map to guide you on the journey? Well, that happens through a structured universal process known as initiation, a guided journey from the everyday world into the inner sanctum of hidden knowledge.
Now, esoteric initiation isn't like signing up for a college class. The point isn't just to memorize a bunch of facts. It's a totally experiential process, and it's designed to trigger a profound inner change. a complete rewiring of your consciousness. That's why it's so often called a second birth. It's not about becoming someone totally new. It's about awakening and giving birth to the higher potential that's already lying dormant inside every one of us.
And this journey almost always follows a timeless 3-act structure. First, the candidate has to enter the darkness. This is a symbolic death. You have to let go of your old identity, your ego, your attachments. Second, you face the trials. These are a series of tests of your courage, your mind, your character, all designed to purify you. And finally, if you make it through, you experience illumination, a symbolic rebirth into light, a brand new state of awareness where you can finally see the hidden knowledge for yourself.
So, we've got alchemy, Kabbalah, and the process of initiation. For centuries, these traditions pretty much developed on parallel tracks. But then, during the Renaissance, something incredible happened. A powerful synthesis occurred, weaving these separate threads into a single, cohesive philosophy that would become the bedrock of all Western esotericism. This is the Hermetic synthesis.
You can see how this all came together over time. Alchemy really gets systematized back in the 9th century Islamic world. By the 13th century, Kabbalah is bubbling up in Europe. But the real magic moment is in the 15th century, when these brilliant Renaissance thinkers start merging it all with Western philosophy. And that synthesis was later organized and passed down through all these secret and not-so-secret initiatic orders.
And here's the most important part. The visionaries of the Renaissance didn't see these as competing systems. Not at all. They saw them as different facets of one universal truth. Kabbalah gave them the map of the cosmos. Alchemy gave them the method for personal transformation, and Hermetic philosophy gave them the powerful overarching principles that stitched it all together into one workable system. The tetramorph is just a perfect example of this synthesis in action. It connects the cherubim, which are angelic beings from Hebrew tradition, to their symbolic forms, the human, the lion, the eagle, and the bull. Then it maps those directly to the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac, and finally to the 4 alchemical elements. It's just brilliant. One single symbol weaving together angels, astrology, and alchemy.
And all of it, this entire system, really boils down to this one legendary quote from Hermes Trismegistus: "As above, so below." This is the great Hermetic axiom. It means that the universe, the macrocosm, and the human being, the microcosm, are perfect reflections of each other. The same laws that govern the stars also govern our souls. If you can understand one, you can understand the other.
And what's the whole point of understanding this reflection? It's the realization of unity. One. The end goal of all these complex maps, all these symbols, all these transformative processes is to dissolve the illusion that we're separate from everything else. It's about integrating yourself with the cosmos, the below with the above, until you understand that it's all a single, unified reality.
And believe me, this golden thread isn't some dusty old relic. It's a living tradition. Its ideas have had a massive influence on modern thought, especially the depth psychology of people like Carl Jung, who saw alchemical symbols as a perfect map of the human psyche's journey toward becoming whole.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought. If, as above, so below is really true, if the entire universe is perfectly reflected inside each of us, then maybe the ultimate quest for knowledge isn't about looking out at the stars at all. Maybe the key to unlocking the secrets of the cosmos has been hidden deep within ourselves this whole time.